Okay, we're back from spring break. I hope you had a good spring break and did lots of fun things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get ready with the next lesson. You should be starting Unit 1 week 1, Unit 5 week 1 this week. But I'm going ahead and recording the next week, Unit 5 week 2, and I'll probably post it later on this week. It's for next week. The story for Unit 5 week 2 is Kitten's First Full Moon. Okay, we're going to be looking at this week. The story this week is the genre is going to be fantasy. Remember what fantasy is. Fantasies are stories that could not really happen, and they usually have characters that are animals that are doing things that people would do. And also this week we're talking about what can you see in the sky. So when you look up in the sky, what do you see? Well, you see the sun, the moon, stars, clouds, okay? So we're going to be talking about what this kitten saw in the sky. So we're going to read about a kitten who thinks the moon is a bowl of milk. Now, why would a kitten think a moon was a bowl of milk? Maybe the kitten's wanting some milk, you think? Okay, the name of the story, again, is Kitten's First Full Moon. Okay, so this is not a big cat. This is a kitten that's not used to seeing a moon, is it? So the story is written by Kevin Hanks, and so he is the what? He is the author of the story. So our story starts out. It was Kitten's first full moon. When she saw it, she thought, there's a little bowl of milk in the sky, and she wanted it. Okay, she would feel pretty lucky to get that bowl of milk, wouldn't she? Okay, this week we're going to be talking about cause and effect. When we talk about a story, the plot of the story, what happened, what was the cause, and what was the effect. Now, she thought that moon was a bowl of milk. That was the cause. What was the effect? She wanted it. So do you think she's going to be able to get it? Do you think she's going to be doing a lot of things to try to get it? Well, let's see. So she closed her eyes and stretched her neck and opened her mouth and licked. Okay, what is she licking? Does she actually touch the moon? No. Okay, so remember, when we have a hard time reading a word, like this word here, stretched, remember, cover up the ED and say the word stretch, and then we add the ED, stretched. And what does ED mean on the word? It means it's something that happened in the past. Right now, I stretch. Yesterday, I stretched. And remember, the ED has different sounds. It can say t, d, or ud. Here it says stretched. It has a T sound. And also here on the word licked, licked. And here it has a T sound. And so we add the ED because it means it's something that has already happened. Okay. So I'm going to predict that she keeps on trying. She didn't get the milk this time, but I predict that she will try to find other ways to get the milk. Let's see as we read. But Kitten only ended up with a bug on her tongue. Poor Kitten. You think she was disappointed? Okay. When I read, I can tell what the author is saying that the kitten is thinking and seeing. He says that she sees the moon and thinks it's a bowl of milk. So she sees the moon, and what does she think? He tells us she thinks it's a bowl of milk. Okay, if I close my eyes and I picture what's happening in the story, I can picture the kitten sitting on the porch, and she's looking up at the moon. She's trying to lick it. Okay, and maybe when you see it, maybe you're thinking, well, she has her head held back and her eyes wide open and trying really hard to get that milk. Okay, turn the page and we'll see what happens. Still, there was the little bowl of milk just waiting. So the author again is telling us what she's thinking. She thinks that bowl of milk is waiting for her, doesn't she? Okay, I predicted that the kitten would keep trying to get the bowl of milk. And I can use the words and illustration on this page to confirm my prediction. I was right. She is going to keep on trying. She's just waiting, and let's see. So she pulled herself together and wiggled her bottom and sprang from the top step of the porch. She is trying, isn't she? So I can look at this and I can make another prediction. I can think, what is she going to get up to get the bowl of milk? And is she maybe going to fall on the ground? What do you think? Well, let's see. But Kitten only tumbled, bumping her nose and banging her ear and pinching her tail. Poor Kitten. She took quite a tumble, didn't she? Okay. So my prediction was right. She did keep on trying. And let's see what the author says she's thinking now. Still, there was the little bowl of milk just waiting. Okay, the author often uses repetition. Repetition is when we repeat the words over again. And he does that to show that something is important. And he's trying to emphasize what Kitten is thinking about. She's thinking all about the milk, isn't she? And she thinks it's waiting for her. And she has to keep trying to find a way to get it. So she chased it down the sidewalk, through the garden, past the field, and by the pond. But Kitten never seemed to get closer. Poor Kitten. So look at the pictures over here. So she's chasing it down the sidewalk, through the garden, past the field, and by the pond. But she never seems to get any closer. Okay. Lots of things that have happened to Kitten, but when we started to read, we read that Kitten thinks that the moon is a bowl of milk. The fact is that she wants to get it. So the moon is still there waiting. So what does this cause Kitten to do? It causes Kitten to, what did we say here in the story? So she chased it. Okay. So we have Kitten thinks the bowl of milk is, the moon is a bowl of milk. So she wants it. And the bowl of milk is still waiting. So what's the effect? She chases it. Okay, the word kitten. Kitten is a word that we can divide into syllables. How many vowels are there in a syllable? There has to be one vowel in each syllable. What are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So we have 1, 2 vowels. So we have how many syllables? We have 2 syllables. And the word kitten, where would we divide it? Between the 2 T's. So kit would be a closed syllable because it ends in a consonant that keeps the vowel from running away. And ten, and it's closed because there is a consonant that keeps the vowel from running away. So 2 closed syllables. Okay, we turn the page. Okay. Also, we have sidewalk is a compound word, and it has 2 syllables because we have 2 vowel sounds, side and walk. And garden is a 2-syllable word. Garden, 2 vowel sounds, 2 syllables. Okay, let's see if this kitten gets her milk. And it says again, still there was the little bowl of milk just waiting. So is she going to give up? Okay, the author keeps on using the repetition to remind the readers that the kitten is still thinking about that milk and still mistaking the moon for a bowl of milk. So let's see what happens now. So she ran to the tallest tree she could find, and she climbed and climbed and climbed to the very top. Now again, the author is using the repetition of the word climb. And why is he using it here? To show that she is climbing very high, that the tree is high, so she has to do a lot of climbing to get to the very top. What caused her to climb the tree? She wanted the milk. The milk is the cause. The effect is she climbed the tree. Okay. Then let's see what happens. The kitten still couldn't reach the bowl of milk, and now she was scared. Poor kitten. What could she do? Okay, we had what caused her to climb the tree? She thought the moon was a bowl of milk. So now her climbing the tree caused what? Caused her to be scared, and she needs to come down. So what do you think is going to happen now? Let's see. Then in the pond, Kitten saw another bowl of milk, and it was bigger. What a night! Okay, you think she's going to think this is a bowl of milk and go for it? Okay, if we look at the picture on page 181, Kitten is sitting at the top of the tree. She looks down and sees what she thinks is another bowl of milk. What do you think she's going to do next? Let's see. So she raced down the tree and raced through the grass and raced to the edge of the pond. She leaped with all her might. Okay, the author begins his pages with the word so. So she raced down the tree. It signals that there's a connection to what happened before. Okay, what happened before? She saw the milk, what she thought was another bowl of milk. The word so makes a connection between that page and what she does here. What was the cause that we just read about? She saw what she thought was a bigger bowl of milk. And what's the effect? Kitten is running down the tree and to the pond to get the bigger bowl of milk. Do you predict when Kitten saw what she thought was a bowl of milk that she would try to get it? Did we predict that? Okay, back to the thing about fantasy. Could this story really happen? We know cats are real and that they like milk and that real cats run and can climb trees. But the main character, Kitten, is an animal that thinks like a person. Real kittens don't think like people. So Kitten could not really exist. So this tells us that it is a fantasy. So let's see what happens now. Poor Kitten. She was wet and sad and tired and hungry. Oh, poor Kitten. Was your prediction correct about what would happen to her? Okay, what happened to make her wet and sad and tired and hungry? Well, she leaps into the pond, and jumping into the pond causes her to be wet, sad, tired, and hungry. Okay, let's see what happens now. So she went back home. Sometimes when I wonder about what I read, I ask myself questions. Then I answer the questions, and on page 186, I read that Kitten goes back home. I see that she gets out of the pond and returns the way she went. I see the full moon in the night sky above her. And I wonder, is Kitten really going back home? Or will she try another way to get it? Then on this page, I see her going up the sidewalk and up onto the porch. And I answered my question. And now I know that the kitten really does go back home. Okay, the picture here shows a sequence, the order in which things happen. So, in the story, she chased the moon, climbed a tree, saw another bowl of milk in the pond, and raced towards it. Then what did she do? She jumped in the pond. Now what is she doing? She's going back home. So these pictures tell us what happened. First, she climbs out of the pond. Next, she goes through a field. then walks along the sidewalk, and finally climbs the steps to the porch. So let's see what happens now. And there was a great big bowl of milk on the porch. Okay, so are our predictions correct? Did she finally get her milk? Does it tell us where the milk came from? Is it the moon? Is it what she saw in the water? What did she see in the water? That was what word did we learn in science? That was a reflection, wasn't it? Okay, stop and think about what she thought at the beginning of the story. She thought that the milk was a bowl of milk. And where is the moon throughout the whole story? It's up in the sky. And what does Kitten think it is? Again, a bowl of milk waiting for her. And was there a bowl of milk waiting for her? Yes. Where? At home, wasn't it? So she had a bowl of milk at home. And what does this story say? Just waiting for her. Have we read these words before? Yes, twice. Just waiting for her. Why do you think the author repeats just waiting for her again? Probably to remind us that the kitten thought the bowl of milk was waiting for her in the sky, and to emphasize that Kitten finally did get her bowl of milk. This part of the sentence here is just the ending of a long sentence that started back on page 186. So she went back home, and see the two lines? Tells us the story. The sentence is not finished. And there was a great big bowl of milk on the porch. And the comma tells us the sentence isn't over yet. Just waiting for her. So the author spreads out the sentence over several pages. What happens at the end? Why did Kitten go home? Because she was tired and hungry and wet. What happened because she went home? She got her bowl of milk, didn't she? Okay, in a story, there are a lot of times a cause and an effect. What caused something to happen? And the story ends, lucky kitten. What do you think caused her to go to sleep? She was tired. Is she hungry anymore? No, she's tired. And here we have about the author. Meet Kevin Hinks. He got the idea for Kitten's first full moon from a story he had begun to write many years before. Although he never finished this story, there was a line that read, "The cat thought the moon was a bowl of milk." He couldn't get this line out of his head, and slowly over the years, the story of Kitten's first full moon formed, and he wrote his story. What was his purpose in writing the story? He got his story idea from a line he liked. Can you think of a line from a rhyme or a story that you like and draw and write about it? Think of stories that you know, something that's stuck in your mind and what you could write about. Okay, this ends our story for this week. And if you have a chance to go back through this, you could turn off the volume and off the volume, and you can read the story yourself. Okay, enjoy. Bye.